Evening, everybody. How are we doing tonight? Hope you're all doing well. Hold on a minute. What's up, Chester? How you doing, mate? How is everyone in the chat? Hope everyone's doing well tonight. Glad to hear it. Alright, Carl, how's it going, bud? How's it going? What a day it is. Fucking cold, man. Had to be done, Catherine. Had to be done. I seen the highlights for Monday Night Raw, yeah, because I went to sleep. It's this same shit, different day. Nothing about Monday Night Raw was good. Honestly, death would be more exciting. I think, honestly, when you look at it in the right scale of things, the right thing to do was sack him, but he wasn't sacked because he's a bad manager, even though he actually underperformed. He was sacked because he called out those above him. He called them out for lack of financial support when he needed it. So that's just how it is. But as you can tell, I've had a haircut. I've had my beard trimmed. Even the sideburns have had a bit of a trim. I look good. Yeah, Raw with this point. I think they'll regret 3 hours. Like free professional wrestling for a regular TV show should not be 3 hours long. I'm sorry. Nobody can tell me otherwise. Work and a haircut, mate. That's all I've done today. Work and a haircut. To be fair, do you honor see me with this haircut before? There's a tidbit for you. It's a chore getting through 2 hours. This is why WCW folded as well. People want to talk about how bad things were for them creatively. 3 hours of Nitro is hard, especially with 2 hours of Thunder. Tell a joke. Triple H is booking. I'll give you another joke. The British government. I'll probably be dead by morning. Netflix got the WWE. Yes, they have got the library, but not all the episodes are uploaded for the likes of Raw, SmackDown, because it's called SmackDown in the Vault and the Raw Vault. What's up, James? Good to see you. WCW, yeah. WCW was. They were their own disaster. Exactly, because I called out the government. I think waiting for any event is not a good idea. Peacock still got SmackDown for now, yeah, but not for much longer. I actually agree with something that Scott Hall said, God rest his soul, a few years ago. I think he was on Inside the Ropes podcast with, unfortunately, Kevin Nash was there. But Scott Hall was asked a question and he actually said it very quickly as an answer and straight to the point. He was asked, in your opinion, how long is enough for one episode of weekly TV? And he said 60 minutes to 90 minutes. Funnily enough, that was prime TNA, by the way. Prime TNA was an hour, then 90 minutes, then eventually they went to 2 hours when they got the HD part of Spike. I'm not saying they should. Monday Night Raw used to be an hour. Then it went up to 2 hours. So I actually think, in retrospect, 90 minutes to 2 hours is long enough. I've been saying that for a long time. I think that's long enough. That is true. One of the boys should never book. That is correct. That is correct. That is a funny question, Potter. No, we're not. Then again, though, if you really want to tell something funny, then how is? Cheers, Potter. Same to you. A booker should be somebody who is like completely impartial, someone who actually knows what it means to change the landscape of the business, and somebody who is actually going to take the role seriously. If you're being truly honest, is there anybody right now in that position across any company that's actually taking it seriously and really be honest about it? I'm going to be honest, I'm going to say no. Do you think that when you had a hand in wrestlers getting set contracts to you, do you think it did more harm than good? Yeah, because when you look at getting certain talents contracts, it was their preference, their favoritism, and that's how it is. Oh yeah, people think that. People that claimed that he was going to be there are absolutely insane. I told you he was not going to be there. Wait for my apology. You look like Tom Cruise. Eh, that's probably the only compliment I'm ever going to get on my looks. I'll take that. I'll take that. Although, then again, the Illuminati can kiss my ass. There's another joke for you. Wish I had his money. I wish I had Keanu Reeves' ability to not age. But yeah, this show tonight isn't just about wrestling. It can be about anything you want to talk about. Unlike that fucking ridiculous promo, I actually mean it. Whatever you guys feel like is on your mind, anything that you feel like, you know what, fuck it, let's just bring it up. Feel free to bring up. If you want to remind me that Amorim's been sacked, thank you. The manager that I actually want is apparently confirmed that he isn't going to renew his contract with his club this summer. I might actually celebrate if Man United actually get the guy. There's only two managers I actually want. I'm just saying. Like, I've got a short list of 5 people, but realistically, I only want one of 2 managers. Do you think Regal would be a good booker, better than Triple H if he took that position? William Regal wouldn't just be a better booker than Triple H. William Regal would actually improve WWE where they are failing. I'm from England, Leicester. You should run for Prime Minister. If I ran for Prime Minister, And I say this with great respect. If I ran for that position, people would want out of this country. So maybe I should. Not a shock that Liam Rosenior is at Chelsea, but 6.5 year deal. Are they fucking mental? Yeah, I think he's a decent manager. I actually really do think he's a decent manager, and fair play to him for taking the step up. I don't get that as well. Like Chelsea and their whole sticking to amortization is absolutely funny. He should have been given a 3 year contract and then see what happens from there. Not 6.5 straight off the bat when he might get sacked within 2 years. But then again, that gives Chelsea the excuse to go, well, we've stretched out his contract that much that we don't need to pay him as much. So I suppose it works out in some ways, but I think he's a decent manager. So fair play to him. Yeah, Gary O'Neill replace him. I think that's not a bad idea. The manager I was talking about that said they won't renew his contract, by the way, according to Build, is Luis Enrique. He's my top choice alongside Julian Nagelsmann. Not going to care if we actually signed Luis Enrique, I would actually try a backflip despite how bad my back is. I would try a backflip. I'd probably split myself in half, but then again, no harm, no luck, no foul. I could always get an electric wheelchair. Actually, that actually has a good ring to it. Sup, Abo? How you doing, mate? I think though, have you had more snow recently? Mostly just the cold. It's supposed to snow on Friday though, apparently. I'll say this though, and this is something I firmly believe in. If you're gonna sack a manager, they shouldn't be getting sacked because they openly called out those above them because they feel like they've not been backed. You should be sacking a manager because the results are bad. Like if they've genuinely been shite and underwhelming and they can't turn around, then sack them. Fair play to you for passing your theory. I need to wait until May to reset my practical test. If you call out a manager should be allowed, or a head coach, if they're in that position, it's because they've earned it. If they should be allowed to call out those above them if they haven't felt like they've been backed or they're not being properly supported. If you sack them, that shows that you aren't after somebody who will challenge you to succeed. You're looking out for a yes man, which begs the question of whoever they bring in is likely to be something like that as well, which is not a good thing. Sigh. Rain in Michigan. It's supposed to rain here tomorrow, apparently. Wouldn't surprise me. It's a proper beard, you cheeky bastard. What's up, mate? I appreciate that, Trevor. Thank you. I normally watch the Managers podcast that Pulis and McCarthy do, and I get their perspectives when they were in that position. Yeah. See his managers, fucking boring. But see his podcasters, oh, they're fucking hilarious. I've got one. See, there's something weird, right? This is what I don't understand. See, for all the fans that are begging Solskjaer to get the job, and it looks like he's gonna get the job, which, ugh. Why do people want a Glazer sympathiser to come back? Now, I'm an honest Man United fan. I can say that steadfast, and I don't care if people come after me for that. But why do they? openly want a Glazer sympathizer to come back? Answer that question. It's like -2. It was like -2, -3 earlier for us. Big Sam. Fuck off, James. I just want Enrique or Nagelsmann in the summer. Yep, failed at those three jobs. It's not like it's not hard to see. He called out the Glazers when he was a player. He got the job and then called the Glazers great owners. It's all documented. Like I don't know why you would believe in someone like that. Exactly, they're scared of managers with a voice, which is kind of funny. You mentioned managers that are, like they're scared of a manager with a voice. This is why I don't understand one person. I don't understand Gary Neville because he claims that Manchester United should not hire another manager like Antonio Conte. But today he name dropped three managers that he would like to get the job. He said Thomas Tuchel, he said Ernesto Valverde, who I really like, and then the other name is someone that I really like. He said Diego Simeone. You can't say no to Antonio Conte, then say that you want Diego Simeone. That doesn't make sense. If you're saying no to Conte, you have to say no to Simeone. Like it doesn't make sense. Oh, Dan, it feels awful. I actually think Man United wouldn't even try for someone like Enrique or Nagelsmann. I think they would honestly go for someone cheap, someone who won't argue, someone who'll just be like, yeah, okay. We actually need to attract a proper manager. I'm sick of the crappy ownership. Oh, for fuck's sake. Jamie Jackson from has just said that if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer gets the interim role at Manchester United, he would hope to be made permanent manager again in time should he do well and prove himself. Oh, good God Almighty. I don't want any ex player back at the club in a manager's position. I'm not even kidding, Abu. He's just reported it. This is how this is how much I don't want Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as manager. This is how serious I am. If Ole Gunnar Solskjaer gets the caretaker job, and by some miracle he was to win the league and cup double this season, I would still not give him the job. Welcome in. I am from Scotland. You're from Turkey. Nice. I wouldn't have any ex player back, Trevor. I don't even Roy Keane. I'd be like, no, mate, no. Although it's funny that Roy Keane and Gary Neville, who have both been managers, haven't got the balls to apply for the United job when they're apparently experts on things, you know? Funny that, eh? But yeah, I'm not even kidding. If some crazy miracle, if he won the League and Cup double, I would still say you're not getting the job permanently. I don't care. Sup, Rio? Same with Michael Carrick. He's a club legend. Yeah, he is. Yeah, Ferguson doesn't like people that challenge him. It just fucks me off. Like certain, it's a step too far. We've seen it before. The first ever, as far as I'm aware, in terms of club history, the first ever ex-United player to become Manchester United manager was what? Wilf McGuinness? After Sir Matt Busby? And then Franco Farrell got it. He didn't last long. Then Tommy Docherty. Then it went to Sexton. Then eventually they got in Ron Atkinson. And then after Ron, it was Alex Ferguson. And then look at the shitstorm after that. Wolf McGuinness didn't even last. He didn't even last a fucking season. What do you think of McKenna from Ipswich? Decent manager, but absolutely not good enough for Manchester United. I think he's good for Ipswich. I think he's good for the West Ham, but he's not good enough for Man United. Neville proved how crap a manager he was when he went to Spain. He's never been back. Exactly, but he's such an expert on Manchester United that he should apply for the job the way he fucking talks. I've seen United fans for years, and I know it's a touchy subject and it's very harsh, right? But I have seen Manchester United. Sorry, not Manchester United. I've seen. I've seen Manchester United fans for years say that Manchester United should do what Liverpool did to to um to Bill Shankly in the 1970s when he left Liverpool. He used to just keep going to the training ground. He used to just keep going in. He would undermine Bob Paisley's authority because they kept calling Shankly boss instead of Paisley, who was the manager, trying to stamp his authority. It got to the point where they told him, with all due respect, you're a Liverpool legend, but we don't want you here. Stop coming to the training ground. You're influencing decisions that you have no impact on. I've seen a lot of Man United fans have said the same thing about Sir Alex Ferguson, that he should be told, go. Enjoy your retirement. I'm not I'm not one of those. I don't really care. But I've seen United fans say that for years because it's such a thing. It's always the same. Oh, someone gets a job. Oh, immediately compare them to Ferguson. XYZ's been in the job for a wee while. Oh, give them a couple of years because it took Sir Alex Ferguson so many years to win the championship. Who cares? I have a firm belief, and I've said this, I've tweeted this, I've firmly said this before, right? The only manager post Sir Alex Ferguson, in terms of full term managers, that should only be compared to Ferguson is David Moyes. Now that might sound strange, but let me explain. You should only be compared to the manager who was there before you. So Sir Alex Ferguson is compared to Ron Atkinson, right? Therefore, David Moyes, you compare him to the previous manager. He was never going to live up to it, so you bin him. So the next permanent manager is Van Gaal. You compare Van Gaal to David Moyes. Van Gaal, Champions League football, underwhelmed. Lost to Liverpool in the Europa League. Should have punched him in the face for that, and he won an FA Cup. So you move on. The next full-term manager, Jose Mourinho, wins the Europa League, the League Cup, and the dinner plate. Bigger success than Van Gaal. Then the next permanent manager is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. His success, people love to say, is second and third in the league. But he lost the Europa League final. And he lost 6 or 7 semi-finals. And he never won a league. He never won a trophy. And he bottled the only chance he had at winning one when he dropped Henderson for De Gea. Because people love to remind him of that. So then you fast forward. After Solskjaer, the next permanent manager is Ten Hag. Ten Hag wins the FA Cup and the League Cup. More success than Solskjaer. Then you move on. Amorim. No success. Gets sacked after he called out the board. So the next manager, you don't compare to what Sir Alex Ferguson did. The next manager must be compared to Amorim. End of story. Get that through your thick fucking skulls. Online Man United fans, please. Get that through your thick skulls. This is not 1986 anymore. You cannot keep comparing every new fucking manager to Sir Alex Ferguson. It's fucking stupid and it's also delusional. Oh, I think he was so happy to leave. You can tell. And I'm glad he called out this fucking board. See all the people who love to call out the Glazers and all that shit. The minute that Amorim did and he called out this Ineos as well, and he called out Wilcox and Berarder, who's another fucking muppet. He called them out and they got rid. What happened to Cristiano Ronaldo when he called out those above? What happened to him? What happened to Wayne Rooney? What happened to Ralph Rangnick? What happened to Louis van Gaal? What's up, Roy Sheen? How you doing? And yeah, it's extremely delusional. Yeah, David Moyes has done really well at Everton and West Ham. He has. There's only one other job that David Moyes should get next, in my opinion. If he gets the permanent job, I will absolutely fume. Like I'm lucky that AC Milan exists because I will fucking flip. The Scotland job. I actually think if it's not the Scotland job, I can genuinely see him retiring at the club that he supports. I'm sorry to hear that, Roy Sheen. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you feel better soon. What's up, Fernando? Like in genuine respect, I can see that happening. I think either David Moyes' next job is either his last club job where he retires, or he gets the Scotland job and he gets to manage the country. I would love to see David Moyes as the Scotland manager. I've got nothing against Steve Clark, even though I think he can be really annoying at times with his team selection and his willingness to play back fives in tournaments where we don't need it. But I have respect for the fact he's done 3 tournaments, but I swear to God, if I see him playing a back five at the World Cup, I will rage. And we've got a bank holiday for the day after our first game against Haiti as well. That's been put in by the Scottish government, which I think is really good. Or I think he would do really well now. I think he's either next Scotland manager after Steve Clark eventually calls it a day, or he does get. I could see him potentially be get the Celtic job, because that's the club that he supports. Like David Moyes is a Celtic fan. I know that means he would have to leave the Premier League where there's a lot more attractiveness, but I can just see him doing it. Oh look, it's Mr. Jealous himself. But yeah, I'm not surprised that the Ineos Glazer clown crew are hiring a Glazer supervisor again. I'm not surprised. If they give him the job permanently, nah. Game over. I think he'll play either 4-4-2 or he'll play 4-3-3. Like I can genuinely see him playing either of those two. I don't even though I like the formation, I don't want to see Man United play a 4-2-3-1. Like I actually think we need to have a we to be fair, I wouldn't mind a diamond midfield, but I actually think the way we are, we need to get a free man in midfield and just get on with it. I I don't think when I look at the current squad, and I know he is like this is gonna sound harsh, but I'm only playing Bruno Fernandes in a 4-4-2 as the second striker. If we're playing a 4-3-3, he's getting told you're playing as a box to box midfielder. You're not playing as a number 10. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, playing Aberdeen. I think it's game over full stop. We get those clowns in charge. Yeah, Wilcox, Berarda, Ineos, the Glazers, all of them scumbags. Let's see, what's Fernando saying? Someone asked a good question on another podcast. If Owen never passed away and Stone Cold buried Owen every chance he got for SummerSlam, how would Brett feel about that? The funny thing is, Bret Hart's already addressed that. Bret Hart's already addressed this because he actually spoke about it to Steve Austin. Steve Austin actually regrets one thing. Steve Austin did say after the Owen Hart incident with the spike pile driver that he would never work with Owen again. But he actually regretted the fact he never got a chance to clear the air with Owen. He actually wanted to work with him again. So in actual fact, I don't think there would be an issue. Rangers should take advantage of Celtic's downfall. Yeah, the problem is though is Celtic got rid of that clown manager and they brought back Martin O'Neill. Celtic have already fixed their problem, which is really annoying because they had such a good manager in Wilfred Nancy. When Ratcliffe came in, they just wanted the sports full. Yeah, Ineos are honestly just shielding the Glazers. We need a full sale. Yeah, Martin O'Neill got rehired by Celtic yesterday. Who should retire Okada in the future? Nah, fuck Celtic. Um, the problem is Okada's. The thing though is Okada's only like what 38, 39 years old. So that's a hard one. You know what? Actually, I would like Yota Tsuji to be the one that retires him. They're shite, Trevor. Simple as Celtic are shite. I watched Austin's interview with Chris Van Vliet. Interesting watch. I'll need to give that a watch. I'll need to give that a watch. That. Great Tanahashi is New Japan president. After what he did today, he is already the best president in wrestling of any company. After what he did today, he is the best president in wrestling. And if you want to know what I'm talking about, it's on the community tab. After all, I do engage with my audience. Yeah, there was a lot of good ones. Now, unfortunately, there's a lot of trash, like the United Stand, that ladies in red crap. God almighty, the dishwashers. Um, there's some that are being terrible. How do you feel about Bullet Club being over for good? Bullet Club still exists. Bullet Club's not dead. It's just the partnership with Bullet Club's over. Jay White being the one to retire Okada would be cool. United Stand are awful. They had like fucking Sky Sports had that United Stand blonde bitch on the show today talking about Amarim sacking and the future for Man United, and I was like, this fucking donkey does not speak for me. The funny thing is, it's a shame that Okada and Naito can't be their last match together, like separately. Top 5 Bullet Club members: AJ, Omega, Jay White, Carl Anderson, David Finlay. Oh, Romano's a clown. I've never liked Fabrizio Romano. I only like I only pay attention to David Ornstein. I've called out Fabrizio Romano for years, but like people love to dick ride him. I mean, I get it. He's made something of himself. He's made a name for himself. He makes all that money, and fair play to him. I just don't like him. I've called him the recycling man for years. Oh, he does think he's God. Too bad no one prays to that shit. If David leaves New Japan, where's a better fit for him? The same with Evil. Evil won't leave New Japan. Good thing is Sanada's confirmed he's not leaving. He's just taking an extended break. Thank God. I'm going to reiterate what I said on the show a couple of days ago. David Finlay doesn't succeed in WWE or AEW. And I'm on record with that. Like I'm firmly on record with that. I'm not kidding. David Finlay, if he actually cares about his career, should stay in New Japan, especially now. He should stay in New Japan. He doesn't work in WWE. He doesn't work in AEW. I don't think TNA would know what to do with him either, especially because they signed that stupid YouTuber BDE to a long-term contract. How can you sign a fucking YouTuber to be a professional wrestler? I hate this crap. Top 5 NWO members. Hollywood Hogan. I have to be honest. Hollywood Hogan. Scott Hall. Randy Savage. In Bloodsport would be cool. So where was I? Hollywood Hogan. Scott Hall. Randy Savage, yep. Mm. Kurt Hennig. Six-pack. Were you a fan of the NWO Wolfpack? Yes, but I have one controversial take. Adding Sting killed it. Sting should never have been a member of the NWO. Or the Wolfpack. Should never have been a member. Yeah, Logan Paul's a clown. Top 5 wrestler in TNA. What, current or all time? Because if you're talking about current... I'm glad I got the whole my beard trimmed, see? I look good. And I got my haircut. I look nice. If you were a New Japan prospect, would you like to be a member of Bullet Club or Chaos? I love Bullet Club, but Chaos is my all-time favorite New Japan faction. It would be Chaos for me. All time. AJ Styles, Kurt Angle. Bobby Roode. Chris Sabin. Samoa Joe. It was a massive mistake. Do you have any wrestlers in the original boxes? As in figures? Not as much anymore, I'm afraid. I've got some in storage though somewhere. Yeah, that's who I want, Billy. I want Luis Enrique. Between him and Nagelsmann. Reese, how bad was Raw Stranger Things? Not one act from the show, but I did not understand why they've linked it to Stranger Things. I don't get that at all. Like, it didn't make any sense. Is the World Championship being saved for Gunther? I believe so. That match was horrible. I've got an even bigger question. You put so much effort into Maxine Dupree. And bear in mind, I don't rate Maxine Dupree, right? But I praise her for at least trying to improve. You put so much time and effort into Maxine Dupree to eventually win the Intercontinental title just for her to lose the belt back quickly to Becky Lynch. Make that make sense. Bring back Hornswoggle. Fucking hell. Thea Hale or Maxine. I actually think Thea Hale's much better. From what I've seen, I think Thea Hale's better. She just got married, that's why. Who, Maxine? Who the fuck would marry her? Were they wearing glasses? Nah, that's her. She's actually a decent person, but she just really isn't that good in the ring. But I do think that Thea Hale's actually quite good. I just feel sorry for her that she's in WWE because they suck. She got married to an NXT wrestler. Oh, right, okay. Okay, fair enough. So she likes the developmentals. Mount Rushmore of wrestling. Bret Hart. Kurt Angle. Jushin Thunder Liger. AJ Styles. That's my Mount Rushmore. But someone who will always be on my heavenly Mount Rushmore. Ooh, yeah. Always Macho Man Randy Savage. He's on my heavenly on the list. Just because I've always liked Randy Savage. Okada is one of my all-time favorites. Like he's on my New Japan Mount Rushmore, but my all-time Mount Rushmore, Liger's been on it for so many fucking years. I'm a massive Liger fan. He's the best masked wrestler I've ever seen. Like even like some wrestlers like Sting is hard to leave off my Mount Rushmore. I'm a big Sting fan. I like Taker. But he's not on my Mount Rushmore. Shawn Michaels, great wrestler, not on my Mount Rushmore. Ultimate Warrior, yeah, my grand's all time favorite wrestler is Ultimate Warrior, which I always question because I think that's weird. But it's what she liked. That's a good list, Dabu. Top 5 wrestlers in New Japan, as in the past. Hiroshi Tanahashi, Jushin Thunder Liger, Antonio Inoki, Tatsumi Fujinami, even though I associate him more with Noah, I'm still gonna say the Great Muta. But that's from the past. If you talk about like the past 30 years of New Japan, if you talk about the last 10, 15 years, that list is totally different. No worries, mate. Good to see you. Definitely see you next time. Absolutely. I'm live most nights. I'm honestly I'm live most nights. How did you meet Josiah and Temple, and whose idea was to do live streams together? I actually follow Josiah on Twitter. We talk about wrestling. We talk about football all the time. We just randomly just started chatting about something about wrestling one night. Like me and Josiah were in a conversation about we were talking. The first wrestling conversation me and Josiah actually had was actually about David Finlay. Something it was to do with David Finlay, and then after that, me and Josiah just got on really well. And then after that, I invited him on the channel. I invited him on. Temple Temple actually asked just to come on one night. I was like, you know what, sure. And then I invited him on, and I was like, you know what, lads, why not we just make this a regular thing? It was my idea. The Just Free Guys podcast was my idea, but the name we all came together because of a faction we liked, and it just worked. That's just how it is. That's a good level. Those are some good ones as well, gents. Those are some good ones. I see you in my phone. Well, everyone sees me somewhere. Yep. 3-1 against Celtic and now 2-0 up against Aberdeen. It's almost like Rangers are actually learning. I still don't think Rangers are good enough to win the league, but they have to do better. Good, my voice transcends. Roy Sheen, that's just creepy. Did they post the card for Dynamite yet? I don't think so. I don't blame you, Abel. I don't know if they posted the card for Dynamite. I'm not even looking. I've actually been in a weird routine recently for sleeping early. So I haven't actually watched wrestling late at night that much. I've actually just been watching it like the next day, or in the case of like a New Japan show, I'm watching it like a couple hours after. Like, I've actually been quite a decent routine recently that I'm actually not watching wrestling live, and it's actually good for my sanity. I've never really had drinking days, mate, but when I only really had a drink when I was with friends, or it was like a New Year with family. It was a Corona or it was a glass of red wine. I've not had any alcohol in over 2 years. 2 years on the 2 years on the 1st of January. So I've not had any drink. I've not had any alcohol since 2024. January 1st, 2024 was the last time I had any alcohol in my system. And I will never touch it again. I've never smoked, which I'm actually kind of glad because I fucking hate the smell. But I will never drink. The only alcohol is my bitterness. Yeah, Billy, you are drunk of bitterness, mate. You don't need to be proud. You should be more proud of yourself, mate, just for being yourself. Self-pride is more important. I actually encourage people not to drink anyway. It does fuck all for you. If you like a drink, as long as you drink responsibly, just don't be a fanny. Or don't be an MP when you're meant to be at home. I only drink when I'm not working after 2 weeks off. I was back in yesterday. Yeah, you're back in the hellhole, mate. Hopefully it's all going alright. See, now we know why Roy Sheen's in pain. She was drinking. Roy Sheen, I still haven't forgiven you for the other day. And fair play to Amad Diallo, he was absolutely brilliant for the Ivory Coast tonight. No, Roy Sheen, for the fact that your not so innocent behaviour in the stream the other night. Absolutely crazy from you. It didn't feel like normal to me. It seemed like you were up to something. Never had a beard trim before, but it actually felt good to get the whole thing trimmed. Even my sideburns got, like the side of my beard got trimmed and everything. It feels so good. Even underneath and everything. It's so smooth. Yeah, you were. Well, the fact that the way you were behaving, like Roy Sheen, like the way you were behaving, we feel bad for your fiance. Because you saw what I said on stream. I was like, that's not my job, that's your fiance's job. And you said, no, he doesn't get to do that. You, Roy Sheen, are. You are a mad one. You are a mad one. Half-time West Ham 1-0, Nottingham Forest 0. Sean Dyche ain't going to last that long. I actually don't think he's going to last long at Forest. She had estrogen Nash. Roy Sheen, you're as innocent as Donald Trump. I've not had a Burger King in God knows how long, mate. But that's a good deal. Do you think WWE 12 was a good game? It was alright, actually. I think WWE 13 was better because of the Attitude Era, but that was about it. I think WWE 12 tried too hard on the story, and then after that it just faded. But it's a decent game. I will say that it's a decent game. See, that's self pride. That's a good thing, mate. Fair play to you. Fucking smoking is horrible. The weight gain, the impact on your health, the color in your teeth, your fucking breath, like all that bollocks. Like honestly, like I'm glad you didn't do it anymore. I used to get up and leave the room when I knew some like friends or family smoked. I got up and left the room because I just don't like it. The reason I won is because people actually like me, Billy. It's not hard. I'm actually nice, you know. I've seen people gain weight from smoking. That's what's funny. I've seen people gain weight from smoking. I don't know how they done it, but they did. What's up, Lark Bart? My brother's fiance smokes 2 to 3 times a day. No, your behavior isn't why the chat voted for me. The chat voted for me because, like I say, I'm just the rightful good winner. Trust me, Roy Sheen, it'll take a lot of effort for someone to break me. Catherine, in what way am I not nice? How am I not nice? I'm extremely harsh, but that's because I'm very honest. And I have high standards. And I don't settle for less than that. I don't settle for subpar. That's why I don't like Triple H. I'm surprised Roy Sheen is defending me. I can be very difficult with people, I will admit, and there's times where it can come across as me being either rude or steadfast and difficult, but I'm actually more honest than people think. I'm just sick of the fact that people lie on here. Like, there's people on here that will gladly take your money just to tell you your opinion doesn't matter. Whereas I don't want your money. If you wanted to donate to this channel, I would be like, okay, that's up to you. I'm not going to actively encourage it. But if you did do something like that, I'm not going to turn around and say, oh, by the way, everything you say is completely stupid or pointless. Unless you're JD from New York or Aaron Loves Wrestling, then I'm definitely going to tell you that. But I appreciate that, Lord Bart. Thank you. Billy, that's hurtful. Just because Roman Reigns touched you doesn't mean I'm a fiend. My father was a drinker and a fiend. Thank you. I mean, to be fair, I can do much better with Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin, but there's some good Heath Ledger lines I can say. No Pepsi Max. It's in my bag. Reese knows I'm messing with him. I think he's a good lad. Well, thanks, Catherine. I appreciate that. There are many content creators who take themselves too seriously and are not very good at what they do. But yet, they somehow con people into getting so many subscribers for nothing. I feel like for all the work I feel like for all the work that myself, Temple, Josiah, with Ailey when she's available, um, when Catherine's been on here, when Matt's been on here, when Abel's appeared on here, Billy when he actually tries, Dan's been on here so many times, Kane, William, Vicky was the very first guest I ever had, and she's not been on it since. She's not been on it in a long time. I've tried. See, for all the people that has been on this channel and has tried really hard to make this channel fun, even Jamie, even though he's a Liverpool fan as well as Josiah, they all have problems. I feel like we actually deserve to be a channel right up there. I'm not saying that we're the best channel out there, we're not, right? We're not. I can say that with great confidence. This is not the best YouTube channel. It's not. But I actually think the Weekly Steelchair is the best engaging channel with any type of audience. I don't think you'll ever find a channel like this one in terms of engaging with everybody. I can remember every single person's first appearance on this channel in the live chat right now. That's how much I actually value. Do you want me to tell you who I know was the very first commenter on my streams? And I mean, like when I had to restart the channel, I know who was the very first live chat comment. I bet you any other channel can't say that. But I can. Reese is the Darth Vader to my Luke Skywalker, the Joker to my Batman, the Lex Luthor to my Superman. I'm not bald. Yeah, banter's everything. Yep, 20th of April, that is for sure. Do you know that there's one person in the chat that's only missed 5 episodes of the Weekly Steelchair? The Late Night Mania watch alongs, yep. You know there's someone in the chat right now that's only missed 5 streams since I've restarted the channel after New Japan killed my first one. I haven't wore face paint in a while. Since I had to restart the channel because of New Japan, one person's only missed 5 episodes in the entire time. And he was also the first commenter when the channel restarted. Now, how would I know that? Anyone want to have... It is actually. Yes. That is correct, Roy Sheen. Now, how would I know that? And I'm not kidding, by the way. I remember every stream the way it is start to finish, whether it's a good one, a long one, or a hard one. I'm not kidding. James has only missed 5 fucking streams. I dare you to ask any other YouTuber, who was your first commenter? How how reliable are they to your channel? How important are they to your channel? I dare you. I dare you to go and fucking ask. I bet not one of them have got the balls to even say that. I didn't have to say that. I didn't have to. But I chose to. Because I actually care about my fucking community. That's alright, Catherine. That's okay. It happens. Like I say, not everybody has to be in every single stream. I'm not saying you're obligated to be here. I'm just saying it's nice. And I remember who's here. Anyway, let's see what Chester asks. Who had the worst WCW title in the 90s? And who had the worst WWE title in the 2000s? Well, the worst WCW title reign, that's very easy. That's David Arquette and Vince Russo combined, because 99 and 2000. The worst in the 2000s for WWE. So that's 2000 to 2010. The worst WWE champion of that opening decade. I don't care. I stand by it. It's John Cena. Fair play, Billy. That's the right call. I just put people in sharpshooters. And I know you do, Catherine. You are a good one. Like, you're a genuine good one. That's why I like shouting out your articles. That's why I like bullying Abil. It's too easy. What's up, Maria? How are you? Funny thing is I remember, funny enough, because Maria's in here. I remember when Maria and Fernando came over to this channel. Because they were trying to find a channel that just resonated with them. You know? Not every channel's for you is for you. I feel like you should have that privilege to watch whatever you feel most comfortable with, rather than being told this is what you've got to watch and that's all. So I actually like when people come from my channel and then they go to another one. Like, look at the amount of people from this channel that's went to say support Nick, who was in the chat earlier on. Like, I like that you guys have went on and supported them. See, Billy claims I give him abuse. I don't abuse Billy. Billy was racist to me yesterday. Why would I abuse Billy? I'm only kidding, mate. It's good banter. Teach him the Superfly splash. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I had no other choice. I'm glad that I took the steel chair to away from my simple podcast on another channel, which I appreciate and I'm grateful for. And I made it a podcast, and look at it now. Like, I'm really proud of it. Yep, you were here because of Zodiac. Zodiac's a good dude. I'm no longer associated to that channel. Like I'm not because I don't like to be. It's just I had to get away from that scene. I I don't like I like I do a football podcast on a Saturday and it's like for like an hour and a half. I don't do a lot of the World of Football podcast anymore because we barely get to do that anymore, which really annoys me. I'm trying to get us to do that. But I'm not associated with that side of YouTube anymore. I actually think that's more dangerous than wrestling YouTube. I think football YouTube is a fucking that's the only way I would probably start drinking again. Yeah, I still follow Rich. He's an alright guy. Which wrestling move do you wish you could pull off? Shooting star press. Hell in a cell. Honestly, me versus Billy in any wrestling match, Billy still loses. Because I would fucking make him tap out quicker than he could say, uh. Are you going to do SW when 2026 comes out? Yes. The SWA is permanent to the Weekly Steelchair. I I don't have a target. I don't have a target for the channel in terms of subscribers. I just want the channel to be recognized for what it is, and that's a I want the channel just to be recognized for what it is, which is just a channel that likes to be for the people. Why am I not surprised that Streamlabs, thank you, is in the chat dealing with a spammer? Just block him. Although I can't see the chat, so guys, if there is anyone in there, get rid of them. That's a good one, Billy. Thanks, Streamlabs. Appreciate it. Why do you think I'm now on Streamlabs, not StreamYard? I didn't even see the comments, by the way. But I'm glad I didn't say that fucking name out loud, because Jesus Christ, what is it with these gimp names? It's a dog eat dog world when it comes to football YouTube. Look at the rivalry United Stand had with full time Devils and Muppets. Yeah, I don't like either of them. Muppeteers is a fucking weirdo. Full time Devils, nah. And the United Stand. If I could say what I wanted to say about the United Stand, my channel would get fucking probably cremated. Here's a good question for Reese and everybody, but who's better, Ric Flair or Shawn Michaels? Oh, in fact, I'll change it to all messages. That now I'll see it. Alright, he told me not to swear. I don't remember. Actually, you know what? Unblock him. I'm not bored. That's his name. Unblock him. Unblock him. I'm not bothered. But I can see why where the spamming was. It's because he kept spamming stop swearing. But last time I checked, I can swear wherever I want. But let him back in. I'm aboard. I do remember that account though. I'm still not going to say names like that because I know they're catch me out names. People really don't like when people swear. Like, for goodness sake, it's part of the English language. It's in the Japanese language. It's in the French language, which is a bigger pussy language than anything else. Oh, sorry, I swore again. As Shawn Michaels is a better entertainer than Ric Flair, but as a world champion at throughout history, Ric Flair will always be a better world champion than Shawn Michaels. But an entertainer in the ring, he really does manage it. Yes, I saw. I saw. I do remember you from 2024, yes. Yeah, Deitch is done. He's a dyke. Yeah, I quoted that Sky Sports tweet and I was like, who are you to bring on this dork? She does not speak for me. Now, if she opened up a dishwasher, then maybe she can clean for me. But she doesn't speak for me. Welcome back in, Ben. Wise thing to do, Roy Sheen, is to rest. So you go and chill. You go and chill. Yeah, I don't like that either, Billy. I don't. There's some channels where they don't do that, and there's some channels where they do. I don't know why they do that. I genuinely hate it. I would rather just our own names, leave it like that. It's so much easier. Ahmad Diallo and Ivory Coast will face Mohamed Salah and Egypt in the next round. Interesting. How do people get moderator? They get a degree in joinery. To be fair, it's because they've watched me for so long, they've earned that right. Like if you watch over a long period of time, I will reward you. Abel, if you change the chat filter, there's like a little chat icon with a like with the it's like the settings icon. You click on that, then you click on chat filter, then you change it from to all messages. Well, that's how it looks like for me though. After VAR check, goal rolled out. Okay. But I really would appreciate if people would like, share, and subscribe though. Just help us grow. I know where we are is actually a good thing. There's no problem. I would like to just see us keep going. Yeah, football's on, Catherine. Appreciate that. Thank you. I'm gonna bring up the stream on TV. May as well. I mean, I would like to. I mean, I would like that if you could. The problem is just remember that soccer is what the English used to call it until the Scottish taught them it's called football. You're welcome. Forrester level. Yeah, watch them come back and win it now. I appreciate that, Ben. Thanks. Tell you who's a decent football YouTuber that I actually don't mind listening to now again. That James Alcott. American football. I will never understand why they call why they call it football. They barely use their feet for kicking that bloody ball. To be fair, no offense to you Americans, but I've been calling it PPE rugby for years as a joke. Because again, it's just funny, but it's nothing against your country or nothing like that. Yeah, West Ham are done. Yeah, I like him. I think he's decent. Like I think he's a really good. I think he's just an honest YouTuber that actually just enjoys the game for what it is, and that's how it should be. They should just call it American rugby. I mean, it's not that hard. Yeah, American rugby is what I call it. 460 subscribers. Fucking hell. Call it oval ball. Not a bad shout. American rugby only good for one thing: Super Bowl for film trailers. I actually like oval ball. That actually does sound. I'm gonna call it that from now on. That's a good one, Catherine. On tonight's oval ball. I mean, it is. That's what a rugby ball is shaped like an oval. So's an American football. One I do like is a fella called Eunice. He's a Chelsea fan. He's always completely honest and always gives out straight up facts. Yeah, he's not too bad. There's a guy I've been watching this recently. There's videos going around of this Italian, well, the Serie A fan who's been doing like Serie A versus like I don't know like 20 Premier League fans or something. And I actually really like how he absolutely tore apart the Premier League fans by saying that Serie A's second best team is still better than the Premier League's best ever team. Because all the Premier League fans could not argue it was fucking hilarious. But it's true. If you look at the legacy of the Premier League versus the legacy of Serie A, how many Serie A teams does it take before a Premier League team actually, all time Premier League team actually beats a Serie A all time team? I think it's the fourth or fifth Serie A all time team. Like, it's that good. A league. But people claim that the Premier League is the fucking best league in the world. Do you remember and enjoy the Beverly Brothers? Beverly Brothers were alright, actually. They were alright. You know, it's mad, we've been live for an hour and 25 minutes and it doesn't feel like it. Bash Brothers. I remember a Chelsea journalist did an event in the States introducing Maldini as the second best ever defender behind John Terry and he got booed like mad. Oh, yep. Fucking Maldini is still to this day the best defender I've ever seen, past or present. And I've seen so many, and I've watched back great defenders. I have never seen a defender better than Maldini, and there's only one defender that comes close, maybe two. Actually, there is only two that comes close to Maldini. And for the record, the two I'm thinking of did not play in England. Yeah, I've watched a few of them. Yep, Baresi's one. Spot on. I've watched a lot of the classic pay-per-views on Netflix. Yeah, I've watched a few. I like watching the old pay-per-views, particularly the 90s and the 80s. Some early 2000s, but I won't go past 2007. For me, WWE honestly truly went downhill from 2008 onwards. There you go. Yep, Beckenbauer. The three best defenders for me of all time are Maldini, Baresi, Beckenbauer. Are you a fan of the Spice Girls? Nope. Overrated pop group. Overrated. And honestly, they've got the voice of five horse. They sound like a bunch of horses. That type of music is not my type of thing, except for a couple of artists like Lady Gaga and Avril Lavigne. And when I was younger, just because I was young, the Sugar Babes. All right, guilty pleasure when I was younger. But that's because of Mucha Buena goth chicks. Reese not comparing the Spice Girls to horses. I did. I absolutely did. And I'm not afraid to say it again. You have posh horse, scary horse, sporty horse, and the other two horse. Did you like April Hunter in the ring? She was alright. I think she could have been used differently. Jenny Halliwell, admit she was good looking. I still think the Spice Girls were crap though. I know a lot of people love them. I've got nothing against that, but people have their own preferences. But I never liked them at all. I don't like the music. It just wasn't for me. Like it's just not my type of music. But that's the good thing about preferences, because you can apply your music preferences to other things you like your sports, like your clothing preferences, your film preferences, types of books you read, all that sort of stuff. Everything has a preference, and that's the whole point of living. And if you're an alcohol person, you can apply it to alcohol for the brands you like, or the type of alcohol you like, or in Billy's case, the type of mood that he gets in. Most of the time, it's just pure bitter. Oh, and a reminder, next week is watch along week. So be prepared for that level of carnage, ladies and gentlemen. Last night's show was good. It was weird that last night was 3 hours plus and it didn't feel like it. Yeah, Billy comes after me all the time. Billy deserves it as well. He knows I'm only kidding though. He knows I've been that against him. I'll do an SWA video this week as well. And my GM me to do that as well. Someone's actually posted a video just reacting to CM Punk versus Braun Breaker. Wow. Well, he's nice now and then when he wants to be. He has his moments. He's a good dude. Still waiting for all the people that claim that why is that a recommendation? I'm still laughing at the fact that people thought that Jericho was going to fucking appear last night. I mean, come on. Of course he wasn't. Go West Ham, Jesus Christ. There's a video uploaded by Sports Illustrated, and it's 3.5 minutes long, and it's titled Braun Breaker Should Be World Champion. 17 hours ago. 3.5 minutes long. If that doesn't tell you enough, then what does? Even more funny when they say he's going to return to his Fozzy song Judas Nas, Break Down the Walls. I've seen a lot of people claiming it's going to be a combination of Break the Walls and Judas. Funnily enough, it appeared on this channel first. People steal our ideas, it sucks. I read it, it was really good. It's a really good read. It'll be, I can actually picture in my head a Death Rebel version of Judas, and it'll probably be called Jubas. They'll remove the D and call it, add a B, and they'll call it Jubis. Jubis in my mind. I'm glad that Sonata, the one truth of professional wrestling, the one true Sonata truth, is taking an extended break from wrestling and he's going to take a break and recuperate. But mark my words, when he returns to New Japan, he will be a fucking mega heel. Algebra sauce. I mean, I'm sure he can put algebra together. But yeah, there's a video, Sports Illustrated, 17 hours ago, that is 3.5 minutes long and it's literally should Braun be champ? Sanada or Naito? In what context? Tempo just messaged in our group chat about it because we were like, oh, he's like, why do you call Sanada Sanada Truth? And it's because Sanada is the one truth of professional wrestling. Oh, who's better? Alright, okay. Um, Naito by far is better than Sanada, but Sanada's actually one of the most underrated wrestlers in New Japan, and yet he still, for some reason, gets a lot of shit. The fact that people claim that he was the worst IWGP champion is ridiculous. I'm sorry, but he's not. Like, how can anyone say that about Sanada? I've got no idea. You must not know professional wrestling if you said that about Sanada. Can you see Leon Slater win the NXT Championship? No, and he shouldn't. Quite frankly, Leon Slater winning the X Division Championship is a demotion anyway. Why would you want to win a title with no prestige? It's like winning. It's like winning the a title on LFG or Evolve. I'd rather win a pie eating contest. I just can't believe already that TNA has proven that 2026 they're not going to get any better. And we're 5 days into 2026. They've already made a mockery of themselves. Pain. But then again, though, TNA could get even worse. They're still not as bad as NXT. But after what TNA did today, after what TNA announced today, TNA is the worst promotion in wrestling. Why? Why are these wrestling promotions rewarding YouTubers? I'm sorry, but why? AEW with that fat clown Big Boom or whatever he's called. TNA have now signed BDE to a long-term contract. WWE has Logan Paul. They've had iShow Speed. Why do these companies do this? They don't care about your company. So why the fuck would you do this? It's embarrassing. Oh, and NXT with Sexy Red. The second word was right, the first part. Ugly Red is a more appropriate name. I don't know why they had the B-Tech Rag and Bone Man on their TV. I've got no idea. Or the chubby version of Post Malone, Porky Malone, or Porky Roll Malone. That's what I'll call him, Porky Roll Malone. Honestly, I can see that happening, James, and I think that'll be the death of wrestling. Like, people are not going to realize this is not the 1980s anymore. Yeah, don't forget about Travis Scott, exactly. It was allowed for Andy Kaufman because Andy Kaufman actually understood the business. These clowns don't understand the business. What Andy Kaufman did is acceptable. What this lot do is embarrassing. And it's not funny. It's not even good. It's actually dangerous to the business. It hurts it. Yeah, I'm the same as you, James. I would do the exact same, mate. I've got no shame in agreeing with that. Burn it all. I actually think we're in for a weird year for wrestling. I think the American promotions this year are gonna. I think each one is gonna have at some point this year either a couple of episodes where they go beyond how bad they are. Like I think TNA will have a good, hope potentially will have a good first episode on AMC, and then get to the summer. Get to the summer, TNA will make two or three big mistakes, and and then something bad will happen. AEW will have a few issues around Forbidden Door, because that's actually a recurring theme. AEW AEW has a good Forbidden Door show, but it doesn't actually do well on the TV, and that's been proven. And WWE will really suffer between WrestleMania and SummerSlam. And I mean really suffer. The Andy versus Jerry Lawler feud is overrated. I don't think so. I suppose it's subjective, but if that's what you think, that's okay. I think the worst one is Federline versus Cena. Yeah, they don't care about fans. Should a major storyline shake-up happen for the AMC debut? Yeah. On the AMC debut, TNA should announce one-off match with NXT, and after that, the partnership ends. Nah, I think Nemeth will interfere. I think Nemeth will interfere in the title match against Santana and Kazarian, and I think you'll get a triple threat at Genesis. Might even get a fatal four-way. You never know. Even though that's a great question, Maria. Honestly, yes, I do. I do. And there's nothing worse than that. Like, there's nothing that much worse. What is the best era for TNA in your opinion? It's the Prime Angle era of 2007 to, well, late 2006, early 2007 to 2009, like end of 2009. That for me is the best era of TNA. So the week of Bound for Glory 06 to Turning Point 2009. That for me is the best era. Best pay-per-views, the best matches, best feuds. That's it for me. Yeah, I got my hair cut and I had a beard. I got my beard trimmed. Kylo Ren's crap, like that entire fucking trilogy. I hate that trilogy with a passion. Yeah, I've seen people saying that as well. It's disgusting. Who that's in a major promotion right now who never went to TNA would have benefit by going there? Would benefit. Shota Umino. Tommaso Ciampa. Drag who's actually not went. Drag who actually. Who else would? I enjoyed TNA in the early days, but I did like Ring of Honor as well. I really liked. I liked their early partnership days. Catch you later, mate. Good to see you. Yeah, the Young Lions cut does look good. Um, yeah. So the two names that I've mentioned, I think they would have benefited. I think Hikaleo would have benefited. I think. No worries, James. Catch you later, my man. It's not that. It's not that I used to like partnerships. It's for me. It's if they make genuine sense. Like TNA and Ring of Honor, when they worked together, they never done it to one up each other. They did it to actually allow the talent to grow and allow the promotions to grow as well at the same time. That's why, like, even though I don't like him as a person, Austin Aries developed a character in TNA, and then he went back to Ring of Honor, and then he became world champion in Ring of Honor. So like, there's actually benefits to the sides of the story, like on that way. Like, what pissed me off was when promotions claimed there were partnerships, but then they started to really just take advantage of the other. So that's where my personal problem is, like that's my personal problem with partnerships. Anyway, who else would I have liked to have seen in TNA that would have benefited? Kevin Knight, I think he would have been okay. Um, I mean, Bandito would have benefited at one point there, personally. I think Bandito would have. Yeah, Murashima was alright, actually. Yeah, he was alright there. Yuya Mura was in TNA. That's where his current gimmick and character comes from. He developed it in TNA, then he took it with him back to New Japan. He was an excursion there with Kushida. He was in TNA 2 years ago. Yuya Umura. 2 years ago. He was a good laugh. I liked watching Yuya in TNA. He was one of the few bright spots. I remember Tanahashi's debut in TNA. On a random episode of Impact, Tanahashi's debut was against AJ Styles. It was fucking outstanding. Did you enjoy Dustin Rhodes versus Roddy Piper at WrestleMania 12? I thought they went well over the top, but I actually did quite enjoy it. Because it allowed the crowd to get prepared for Taker versus Diesel, and then it then got them prepared for the Iron Man match. It was a good, relaxing situation. Can you remember? Like, I remember Okato, and I remember Okada's final TNA return. I remember both. Okada could have been something in TNA the first time if they hadn't gave him that Okato gimmick. I never liked that. That's what killed the New Japan partnership for TNA. Like, that was the end. Like, and it's a shame because when they when they put him with the Pope, D'Angelo De Niro, right there and then you've planted the seed for the Rainmaker gimmick, because that's what he took to New Japan. He took the money, the look, like the Ric Flair robe, like all that. He did all that in New Japan, but his gimmick was based on D'Angelo De Niro, and it was really good. But I hated the fact he had to dress up like the fucking Green Hornet. That was horrible. Like, I remember all the major TNA debuts that happened from those New Japan talents. All of them. They were great. Is the Iron Man match at 12 the best Bret Hart match ever? No, it's not. It's a great one, but it's not his best ever match. No. It's not even his best match with Shawn Michaels. It was a great match, but it's not his best, and it's not his best match with Shawn Michaels. I can honestly confirm that. There's an even better match that he had with Shawn Michaels. What would make you and Josiah like Ren and Shota? A lobotomy is the only way that would ever happen because we're far better than them. Have you seen any of the ladder matches between Brett and HBK? Yes, I have. I've watched them. They're actually quite good. Funnily enough, in between those ladder matches, like around about that period, is when Brett and Shawn Michaels had their best match together. If you really want to know what the best Bret Hart Shawn Michaels match is, it's Survivor Series 1992. That is their best match. And it's not even close.
If you've never watched that match, I recommend watching it. That is honestly their best match together. It was really good. I think Shota needs a whole lot more before I can like him again. I used to like Shota until he became such a fucking cringe weirdo. Ren Narita, I liked what he was doing. I liked what he was doing. And then he ruined it by joining the House of Torture. That was a bad decision for him. Why do you think we never got Bret Hart versus The Rock? We did. We just didn't get the we just didn't get the best version of The Rock versus Bret Hart, but we did actually get Bret Hart versus The Rock. Yeah, go back in 1997, Bret Hart versus The Rock on Raw. He did the figure four leg lock round the ring post, and the fans cheered. Did HBK and The Rock dance? Nope, because HBK tried to bully Rock out of WWE. I'm looking forward to Andrade versus Gabe. I want a Gabe versus Suji match for the title. I think it'll be. I think Andrade versus Suji. I think it'll be Gabe versus Suji, to be honest. And I really like what Suji said about Jake Lee's title shot. That for me is exactly why Suji is the right world champion. When he turned around and told him, mate, you've not earned it. You're not getting a title shot. I fucking loved it. It's about time we have people earn title shots again in New Japan. Such good. Such a good decision. Really well done by Suji. I thought his entire press conference with Tanahashi this morning was fantastic. Really well done. I liked what he said. It's about time someone implements authority. And because he won't be a Forbidden Door as well, you won't see AEW wrestlers get title shots for Suji again for that title, which I actually think is the right thing to do. I've got nothing against AEW versus New Japan wrestlers, but they shouldn't be competing for each other's titles. Yeah, he's not earned it at all. He walked in, attacked the champion. That's not earning a title shot. That can earn you a one-on-one match with the champion, though, but not for the championship. If Jake Lee was to beat the champion, though, in a one-on-one match, non-title, then I'd be like, okay, now you can do it. Same with NXT and TNT. Yeah, same with those two. I am sick of that happening. I'm sick of them competing and winning their championships. It's not funny. I think if you, yeah, I think if you were to win another promotion's championship, you have to go, at that point, you have to go and be in that promotion. Now you have to leave your main promotion. So take Claudio, for example, he's a CMLL world champion. I know he's an AEW wrestler, but now he should just be a CMLL talent until he drops the title. I know that sounds harsh, but you're the world champion of a promotion you're a partner with. Triple A and WWE. Yep, exactly. Now, unfortunately, that what my words also mean is, well, that moron Trick Williams was a TNA champion. Should he have been a TNA wrestler? Unfortunately, that's what I'm saying. Thankfully, he's no longer the champion. Yep, same goes with Hiromu Takahashi when he was JZ Junior Heavyweight Champion. Exactly. You have to leave your main promotion, and until you drop that title, you need to be in that other promotion permanently. Like, until you drop the title. I think that's actually respectful to your partner as well. Okay, our guys went and won your title, but you know what? He is now, until you decide to change championships, the championship's hand to a new champion, you can keep him. He is yours. So, like when Takeshita was IWGP World Champion, he should have been exclusively just a New Japan wrestler. Yeah, Josiah said that to me because we were talking about it earlier. I actually like that match. I think Naito will pin Kenta in the middle of the ring. I honestly think Kenta's going to take the pin from Naito. I'll probably go another couple of minutes though, just because it's gone after 10 o'clock. More or less they are, yeah. It's not a bad thing. I actually quite like that. Probably doing the SWA stream tomorrow because we've not done the SWA in quite a wee while. So, and I'm pretty sure it's the pay-per-view. So, we will need to do that. So I get your last questions in, folks, before we depart for the evening. Yeah, it was genuinely terrible. Which is no surprise because they never get it right. I don't know why they would compare it to Stranger Things. I don't understand that. Yeah. Anyway, folks, it's been a good one. Thanks for tuning in. Please do like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you tomorrow for the SWA. Goodbye.